Hey everyone, and welcome back to another lower quality video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a lower quality Game Boy, because this right here is actually a Game Boy clone. Now, I picked it up recently, can't remember how much I paid for it, it was in a job lot of stuff from a friend of mine. This is not the recent remade edition by GangFeng. This is the original one, or one of the original ones, by GangFeng, which was made in 2003. Can't imagine they're different companies, probably just someone got a spelling mistake in the printing, wouldn't surprise me. The A button is stuck down. It does still work, but it hasn't got the nice travel that the B button has, so we need to fix that. The screen lens is incredibly scratched, so hopefully we can do something about that. The power switch is slightly weird. It's sort of got like 3-pole sort of like setting, as in the Game Boy Light, similar to that. You see it clicks into the middle there and does nothing, and then you click it again and it turns on. So besides that, it does work. We just need to also fix the speaker, as that does not work. It's also pretty beaten up, so maybe we can try and clean some of it. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and start taking it apart. So I'm a massive fan of Game Boy clones and fake knockoff, cheapo, wannabe things, just because, I don't know, it's sort of more interesting to me than just the mainstream stuff. It's also not worth a lot. It's just very hard to find, which means that it's got a really rewarding sort of feeling when you get anything, because you've usually got it for quite a good price, and yeah, it's incredibly rare. So yeah, for those reasons I like it. It's also kind of humorous. Diesel, be quiet. The fact that it was made in 2003 is also quite funny. Pretty certain at that point we had the Game Boy Advance, so the Game Boy Pocket was pretty old news by then. Obviously we've had the Game Boy Color at this point as well, so good job GangFeng pissing this one out just like the rest of them. My cat's probably going to continue to meow. Diesel, you just jumped from my sofa all the way over to this little ledge. Let me show you quite the jump that is, from here where these pins are over to there. Diesel, you're crazy. So here we go, the motherboard is now exposed, and as you can see, looks pretty cool. It's a little bit grubby, kind of awesome though. It has the GangFeng logo engraved into, or actually it's sort of like, I don't know, recessed or embossed. I don't know what the word is for that. This is weird. Let's have a look at the power switch as well. Yeah, so it really does have 3 settings. So that isn't actually broken, it's just like that. That's very strange. Yeah, it really does have 3 settings in it. I don't know why that is. Besides that, we've got a speaker with some very dry solder connections down there. We're probably going to have to do something about that. We've got some pretty beaten up screws and stuff. We're going to have to fix that as well. But yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good besides that. So let's continue to take it apart. I'm going to set all these screws aside as well. Yeah, you can see some of the extent of the dirt and grime and stuff going on inside there, so we definitely need to give that a clean. Let's take the cart shield off as well, so that that doesn't rust in the water. Pretty goddamn grubby. So yeah, we definitely need to give this a nice soak. Right, let's pop this next piece out and see what the state of this is. Now, I don't know if the screen in here is going to be the same as the screen in the newer Game Boy Pockets. I will actually be doing a video on the main channel of this, because I think it's kind of interesting, but I want to get it into good condition first, and I'll obviously link this video in the main channel video. Oh, okay, well that's probably why the speaker doesn't work. Look at that. That just completely popped off. Hopefully we can replace that. So I don't know if the screen in here and all the stuff in here is going to be the same as the newer model. That's something I'm going to take a look at in the video. But wow, what is that, cardboard? Yeah, it looks like it. Okay, crikey. Looks in pretty good nick, you know. It's just going to need a good clean. But yeah, very pleased with that. Let's have a look at what's wrong with this button. So, okay, well there we go. So it's just completely broken, you can see that there. It's just completely crumbled apart. So I'm not actually sure what we're going to be able to do with that. Potentially, it does actually look like a similar size, not only button to the original Game Boy Pocket, but also where the membrane goes. It looks as if it's the same as the Game Boy Pocket, so maybe we can just put a Game Boy Pocket membrane in there. The other ones all feel okay, so pretty pleased with those. We can take out the buttons. There's the weird D-pad that we've seen on all of the GB boys and all the rest of it. So we can take out the rest of these like that. We'll put them in the sink, but the only problem is with these, if we do use the Game Boy Pocket membrane, the original one, these buttons aren't going to work because you can see that the center of them is recessed far too much. Not sure if you can see that there. It's recessed far too much in there, so that's not going to make a contact with the rubber membrane. So I'll set those to the side, and before we put it in the sink, we can check that. Now we need to get this screen out, which is hopefully not going to be too difficult. No, it doesn't look like it is. That is a screen and a half. Look at the state of that. How mental. These guys have actually made an aftermarket Game Boy Pocket screen. I mean, you've got to give them props. That is very, very impressive right there. And luckily for me, this one doesn't have any damage on it at the moment. So we'll set that to the side. And you can see as well the condition of the screen lens. Very unfortunately, not in very good condition at all. So when we put that in hot water, that's going to come off. The adhesive will come off. And then we can polish that up, but you can see there how sun damaged it is. So that's all of the stuff. Let me go grab some buttons and a membrane. So I've got a couple of different membranes here and the Game Boy Pocket buttons. Let's drop them in. Oh, okay, immediately they ain't going down. Don't know if you can see that there, but it sort of sat on like a little ledge in the button. Well, so let's just keep shaving each of these pieces off and maybe it will fit. Okay, I'm fairly certain it's just this one up here, and I don't think there's going to be a problem if we just lose that one. Let's just chop it straight off. Okay, that is good. Right, membrane on. Right, that does actually look like it's going to work. The only problem is it's a little bit looser. Can you see that there? It's got more of a an exposed bit. Okay, so here's my idea. I'm going to cut off one of these, just a little circle, sort of similar to the same size as the one that isn't ripped up. And then I'm going to glue a small piece of this on top of that one to rise it up just slightly, and then we should be laughing. So I've now made that. It's the same height as that. So we're going to let the super glue dry while I clean up the shell, and then we can see if that works when we put it back together later on. Okay, time to have a go at the screen lens. So I'm going to start off with some toothpaste because that sort of had mixed results in the last attempt of cleaning and removing scratches from a screen lens. So I'm going to use that again, and then I'm going to try some regular plastic polish. I can already see it hasn't really made any difference at all. Now, another thing I was advised to try is Brasso Wadding. Now, I know I have some of that, just can't remember where, so I'm going to go have a look for that. Alright, I found the Brasso Wadding. Let's have a go at this. Now, I don't even know how to use this stuff. It's all sort of in a big wad. Alright, so yeah, someone said that this worked and gave them really good results, so I'm very excited to try this. Here we go. I don't know what is in Brasso that could... Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about this sort of chemical stuff. Let's just give it a whirl. Alright, let's just give that a wipe off and just see what that looks like. Gonna be honest, don't think that's made a very big difference, but I'm gonna keep going with it a bit more, and then we'll try the regular plastic polish, which does work. It just takes a very bloody long time. So let's keep going with this. I'm going to give this a rinse off in the sink, give it a nice wipe down, and then we'll try some regular plastic polish. Everything has been nice and scrubbed up and it looks absolutely fantastic. I thought there was a load of scratches on the front of this thing, but I think it might actually just be the dirt because that's come out looking rather good. Right, time to try and solder a speaker in. I don't know if the speaker that I've got is going to work, but it's the only one that will fit. So let's take the old wires out. Here we go. Okay, here we go, moment of truth. Nothing yet. Actually, we are getting some sound. So I think the next thing to do is put some isopropyl alcohol in here because it's crackling when I'm turning it up and down. Okie dokie. Right, let's grab some of this lovely little magical liquid. Okay. And I guess whilst we're doing this, we'll give the contrast wheel a nice clean as well. Hell yeah. So, I think that's it. Okay, really pleased with the result on that. Right, let's turn this off and take it apart again. And then we shall give the rest of the motherboard a clean and we're good to reassemble it. Everything is ready to be reassembled. So, let's do that. All nice and cleaned up with isopropyl to give only the best of contacts. I actually have always preferred these GameBoy Start and Select over the really thin rubber membranes on the actual original Game Boy Color. It's just much easier to press. I mean, you don't need the Start and Select buttons that often, but it is much easier to press, and I don't think anything has been sacrificed by having physical, you know, tactile buttons over just rubber membranes. And now we've got our homemade bodge membrane, which we don't know yet whether or not it's going to work, but we shall find out at the very end. And if it doesn't work, then I'll use something else, but it's sitting in there okay. And that's about all I can tell you for that. So now we need to put the screen in. Let's give it a quick wipe. Set that down. The weird cardboard screen that it is. Right, next up, motherboard. Now, where did the last one go? Must have gone there. Okay. Just need to put it on the back now. Awesome. Alright. Chuck the batteries in and the battery cover on, and we'll give it a quick test just to make sure it still works. Oh yes. Hang on, let me grab a game. Ah, okay, that button's not too bad. I mean, it's not as good as this one, but it's definitely not as bad. Press that into place. Oh my god, I am so pleased with how that has turned out. What a fantastic result. Far better than the start, you can definitely, hopefully, tell. And yeah, the whole thing works beautifully. Sound, screen, B button, A button, everything. And it's nice and clean. And the screen is got fantastic contrast. Awesome. Alright, well hopefully you guys have all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you're new to the second channel, give it a subscribe. And await eagerly for the main video on the main channel of this little Game Boy. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Goodbye.